while everyone playing nowadays the one game that catches everyone's attention, which is Stalker 2, I wanted to give a revisit and actually basically do my first review on the game that I think is actually one of the best VR titles on the market nowadays. The game is called Metro Awakening VR. And if you're not kind of familiar with Metro series, guys, sit down because you will enjoy first of all this video, and we will maybe even be feeling like to buy a VR just for this game. So before we fully jump into the conclusions, what is this game, telling you why you should play it, I actually want to ask you one thing. If this is not the first time you're seeing these videos on this channel but you haven't been subscribed yet, can you guys give me a promise that by the end of this video you may actually change your mind and finally press this subscribe button and help the channel to grow to even new heights. But meanwhile, let's talk. What is it Metro Awakening about? So basically, if long story short you want me to explain to you the game overall system, let me tell you. The game basically is setting in 2028, kind of like spin-off from our original Metro series, where in Awakening it follows the Dr. Serdar, a following surveyor of a nuclear apocalypse and resident of Moscow's Metro system. His journey begins with his wife hearing the voices of their long deceased son, plunging him into the gripping quest that expresses depths of the grief and mental health. The game's prologue effectively sets the tone of both newcomers and returning fans, immersing the players in a rich, detailed station camp, busting with an NPC chatter and striking visuals. The use of the VR incentivizes the immersions, making you feel truly present in the world, a feat of many VR games fail to achieve. And this is something that straight up sets really great height, I feel, for the kind of like the aesthetics of the game. The gameplay mechanics and the interactivity. The controls are finely tuned, featuring the realistic weapon handling, intuitive mechanics such as holsters for the weapons, interactive survival tools like the hand crank generator for your headlamps. These mechanics adapted from classic Metro games enhance the VR experience by incorporating physical interactivity like replacing gas mask filters with heat danger as the layer of intensity. Movement mechanics are similarly redefined with actions like jumping and climbing streamlined for the VR. The game seamlessly introduces the combat, emphasizing skillful aim due to a limited ammunition and the weapons that feel appropriately worn and challenging to use. Combat sequences range from long-range battles on railing kind of like shootings to the stealth encounters or the horror-inspired moments, each offering the diverse gameplay experiences, narrative and atmosphere. Let's talk about this. So the story planned around Dmitry Glukhanovsky, which is a doctor. He's maintaining the serious traditions of compelling narratives, Dr. Sedar's interactions with the supporting characters like Radio Companion Max, propelling the plot that naturally with the dialogues that feels authentic and immersive. Cutscenes further enhance the story, often employed kind of creative, out-of-body perspective and unexpected cameos. Voice acting and animations contribute significantly to immersion. NPCs react really in a natural subtitle movements and ways. The one thing I have to say also that visually the game looks stunning. It's honestly the level of details, the atmosphere and everything around it. It's just great, really. Like when you see how the game is built, how it feels, like the way how you deeped into the world and in general the VR feeling of the game is amazing. I would say really one of the best you can find now on the market. So if you're looking for the first game to truly understand what is VR about, I feel like the Metro Awakening is the one. You can play the stealth way, you can play, obviously not every level you can play the stealth way because sometimes you'll feature the monsters in this post-apocalyptic world, which is sometimes maybe even similar to how you see them in the Stalker series, especially in the Stalker 2 now, where I think many of you played it. So this is actually one thing that I would say. If you actually play Stalker 2 by now, you finish the game and you love it and you feel like, oh, I want to explore a little bit more but I don't want to jump into the original series, well, Metro should be something that you want to explore because it kind of like touches some of the similar aspects. It has a similar, in a way, atmosphere of, rather than not Ukrainian Chernobyl, it has the Russian's Moscow side, but it gives like similar Eastern Europe feeling and aesthetic that you kind of like feel that you play games that are maybe in a way like a browser's games. So let's talk about the games maximalized with the PS5 and psvr 2 capabilities. The haptic feedback adds tactile realism, especially during the intense moments like encounters with the giant spiders. Spatial audio plays a crucial role in the gameplay, particularly during the stealth selections where you kind of like listening to enemies movements, and it's pretty vital. I have to say the audio is really very good in the game, like you really know exactly where your enemies are, which is sometimes being failed in the games like for example Call of Duty, where you would actually assume that the sound design there would be great, but essentially it's not. While the graphic excels in low light environments, the visual quality of psvr 2 isn't as polished sometimes as the PC version suggests. While some of the occasional textures pop up, I would say it's still something. Despite that, it becomes really greatly atmosphere, and the whole visual structure of the game is amazing. So my final thoughts after playing over 10 hours in the game, Metro Awakening VR delivers a deeply immersive experience, and this is something that if you want to play an action horror survival game with great mechanics, great graphics, great atmosphere, amazing storyline, I would say this is the one. And if you haven't played any VR title yet, maybe on the level of Silent Hill or I mean the Resident Evil 6, you can actually play something like that. So in general, if you're willing to play a game that will be sometimes scary but at the same time action-packed, Metro Awakening 2 VR is for you. Thank you for watching this video, and as you promised in the beginning of the video, because you did, give us a follow if you really enjoyed this content, and I hope to bring you more and more videos soon as we are heading into 2025, and well, this will be an exciting period for the gaming industry. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.